Dana Brooke is one of WWE's most underrated wrestlers, a wrestler who has shown so much improvement over the years, and she's a very solid worker. However, in her WWE career, it's safe to say that she's not been given a fair shake whatsoever. Dana Brooke has been in the WWE system for nearly 10 years now, and she's been stuck in booking limbo for most of it. Today, we're going to talk about the career of Dana Brooke in WWE. Make sure to subscribe to the channel right now if you haven't already, and let's get into the video. Ashley Sabera signed a contract with the WWE in July of 2013 and was assigned to the newly introduced WWE Performance Center, and she was assigned the ring name of Dana Brooke. Before WWE though, she had competed in bodybuilding, including competing at the Arnold Classic. She would make her first NXT appearance at NXT TakeOver Fatal 4-Way in 2014 in a backstage segment, and then the next week later, she made her debut on a house show and would begin working NXT house shows regularly through until the next year. Dana Brooke made her TV debut on the April 15, 2015 edition of NXT. She debuted as a heel and she beat Blue Pants in dominant fashion. Obviously, it was her debut, so she looked fairly green, but you could see that the potential was there. She faced Bayley in her next match, where she formed an alliance with Emma after Emma helped her beat Bayley. And from here, Brooke would start appearing on NXT more regularly, facing off with the likes of Charlotte Flair, Carmella, and the Iconic Duo. Dana Brooke and Emma would find themselves feuding with newly signed Asuka in September 2015, leading to Asuka and Dana Brooke facing at NXT TakeOver Respect in Asuka's WWE debut, which Asuka of course won. The loss to Asuka was Dana Brooke's final match on WWE NXT TV, and she was called up to the main roster post WrestleMania in 2016, and she debuted on the May 9th, 2016 Raw alongside Emma attacking Becky Lynch. And then 3 days later on SmackDown, Dana Brooke would make her in-ring television debut on the main roster and beat Becky Lynch. A big win for Dana Brooke, and she would start very well on the main roster. Following this, she would beat Paige. However, Emma got injured and plans with her and Emma got put on hold, and WWE needed something for Dana to do, and they decided to pair her with Charlotte Flair, who was the women's champion at the time. And it was in this year that Dana Brooke would go full heel stooge mode and was often on the losing end of matches. Her in-ring career would usually consist of her finding herself in a losing effort against whoever Charlotte Flair was feuding with at the time. And hey, despite this was still a good spot for Dana to be in. She was appearing on TV every week, she was a part of big storylines alongside the Raw Women's Champion, and it was a good start for Dana Brooke's main roster career. On the March 13th, 2017 episode of Raw, Dana Brooke turned babyface for the first time when she turned on and attacked Charlotte Flair. Despite the big moment though, WWE chose not to capitalize on it, and Charlotte Flair defeated Dana Brooke in 3 minutes the next week, and that was that for Charlotte Flair and Dana Brooke. Just like that, just pushed to the wayside. Dana Brooke would still appear on Raw, but she was mainly either losing in a singles match or was just a body in a multi-person match. Dana Brooke was not being pushed whatsoever on the main roster at all now, and towards the end of the year, she would hit full-blown jobber status when she lost to Asuka in just 4 seconds and joined up with jobber faction Titus Worldwide. It was clear that WWE had no idea what to do with her. She entered the first ever Women's Royal Rumble at the Royal Rumble in 2018, and she actually eliminated Kairi Sane, which got a funny reaction from people, before being dumped after just under 3 minutes in the match. And yeah, 2018 was a very quiet year for Dana Brooke. Really not a great year for the career of Dana Brooke in the WWE. And when I say that, I mean she didn't pick up a single victory on Raw throughout the entirety of the year. The biggest thing she did this year was compete in the Evolution Battle Royal, but of course she once again did not win it. By 2019, she had largely been relegated to main event and house shows, but in 2019 her matches on main event with the likes of Ruby Riott and Tamina started to get the attention of some fans. She scored wins over the both of them and was starting to pick up steam, and people were really noticing how much Dana was improving. She had introduced the Swanton Bomb as a new finisher and was really coming into her own as an in-ring worker, and this got her an opportunity in the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match this year. Without a doubt her biggest match and her biggest opportunity in the WWE to date at the time. And while she did not win the match, she really showed out in the match and made a statement, and lots of fans were impressed. we weren't familiar with her game, myself included, and I was excited to see what Dana Brooke would do next. Well, unfortunately, not much, because following this, she was pretty much just sent right back down to main event, where most of her matches for the rest of the year would take place. She was drafted to SmackDown that year, and she would occasionally wrestle on SmackDown, but once again, she was mainly in the shackles of main event, and her matches on SmackDown were usually losses. She was not in a great place on the card heading into 2020, however 2020 was the year that COVID struck the world, and it caused quite the reshuffle in the WWE, and that proved to be quite beneficial for Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke would begin the year by teaming with Carmella and even challenge for the women's tag team titles. Though it was unsuccessful, Dana Brooke was starting to get a bit of a push on the roster, and she was meant to be a part of the SmackDown Women's title match at WrestleMania, but she had to pull out of the match due to being in quarantine, which is just so unlucky. But upon returning, she would qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match, the one in WWE headquarters where we saw the birth of a meme when she slipped as part of a bit in the match. She did not win the match, but once again it was another big opportunity for Dana that she had ticked off. Dana Brooke would then start teaming with Mandy Rose, and this is where we'd start seeing Dana Brooke a lot more on TV, as Dana and Mandy would appear as a team on TV a lot and were closely involved with the women's tag title scene throughout the rest of the year. They faced the likes of the Riot Squad, the Iconics, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, and they challenged for the women's tag team titles multiple times in this year, unsuccessfully though. They competed at WrestleMania in 2021 in her first main card Mania match in a women's tag team turmoil to determine the number one contenders for the tag titles, competing in a losing effort. However, it was this match where Mandy Rose would be the one who would slip instead of Dana Brooke. Following this, they were teamed for a bit longer, but in July, the team was ended abruptly when Mandy Rose was moved to NXT and formed the Toxic Attraction, thus ending her team with Dana Brooke and leaving Dana in the dust once again. At the end of the year though, Dana Brooke would get involved in the WWE 24/7 title division. In fact, she pinned Cedric Alexander in November to win it, her first ever title win in the WWE, and being in the 24/7 scene allowed Dana to be appearing on TV regularly, mixing it up and interacting with various wrestlers. She was in a romance angle involving Tozawa, Tamina and Reggie, and as well she was trading the 24/7 title with other wrestlers regularly. On the November 7th, 2022 episode of Raw, Nikki Cross won the 24/7 title from Dana Brooke and put the title in the bin. Well, kinda. Signifying the end of the WWE 24/7 title, and when it was all said and done, Dana Brooke was a 15-time champion, had the tied second most reigns, and the second longest days combined as champion. And throughout her multiple reigns as 24/7 champion, Dana Brooke really did her best to hype up the title and make it mean something, and you could tell that being 24/7 champion really meant something to her. However, the scrapping of the 24/7 title left Dana Brooke in the dust once again, and Dana Brooke was relegated to main event yet again. Since the end of the 24/7 title, Dana Brooke has wrestled just 2 times on Raw, 5 minutes of total wrestling time, and of course, both losses. She mainly just wrestles on main event still nowadays, where even there she still only gets a win occasionally. It seems as though WWE no longer knows what to do with Dana Brooke, and it's a sad state of affairs as Dana Brooke has been nothing but a hard worker over the last decade in the company. Do you think she deserves a push? Sound off in the comments.